Hello and welcome. This is Angie with thecountrysheetcottage.net. So a few weeks ago, I transformed an Epson EcoTank printer into a Sublimation printer, and I'll link to that video below. But in doing that, I used sublimation paper for my tests, and I wanted to take that a step further and compare sublimation papers. So I have 3 today that we're going to test. So I'm going to link to all these below, but we have ASUB, Printer's Jack, and DyeMaster. So this is how each of those come, and I've already printed on each of them using the EcoTank and the same printer settings for all. And so we have DyeMaster, Printer's Jack, and ASUB. So the first thing I'm going to say is all 3 of these look fairly similar. The DyeMaster kind of looks streaky after it was printed. All of them printed fine, however, through the printer, didn't streak or anything as it was coming out. Like, it dried immediately, that type of thing, so that part was fine. I feel like the DyeMaster is a little streakier, so we'll see what it looks like when pressed to our surface. Otherwise, pretty much the same. So what I do like about, first of all, the ASUB, it actually has like writing on the back, so you know which side to print onto. The Printer's Jack, the back is sort of like a pink color, so again, I know which side's the front, I know which side to print on. The DyeMaster, however, looks the same on both sides. So was it user error and I did not press on the right side? I really don't know, because there was also no instructions in this box. So I was totally winging it with the DyeMaster. The ASUB includes an instruction sheet on the inside. So when I say there's no instructions with the DyeMaster, I mean that there is nothing in this box but paper. So the ASUB, however, came with an instruction sheet with like suggested temperatures and times, like if you get a blank and you don't know what the temperature and time, like there's a rough guess on the page, and then of course like how to print and that type of thing. And then the Printer's Jack again had instructions on the back, so it kind of told you how to print, like rough times and temperatures for various substrates if you don't have that type of thing. So I already like the ASUB and the Printer's Jack a little better than the DyeMaster, just for the instruction wise. Now, all of these prints are mirrored, so I mirrored that on my computer with the Epson printer. So all these are already mirrored, so we're going to place these face down, and I'm going to use the same blank for all 3. So I have a polyester shirt, and I'm going to press all 3 of these unicorns somewhere on this polyester shirt, just so we have a fair comparison between all 3, and I'm going to use the same heat press, the same time, the same temperature for all 3 presses, just so everything is exactly the same. So let's head to the heat press and let's press our shirt. So my heat press has almost heated up, it's almost ready. So let's talk about our pressing. We are going to use protective paper. I'll link to this below. I'm going to use heat tape. Again, I'll link to that below. You want to make sure that the protective paper you use is the correct one for sublimation, and that the heat tape you use will stand up to the heat we're about to apply. So 2 notes on that. And what I'm going to do first is sort of preheat the shirt, removes any wrinkles, any moisture in the shirt itself. And I may actually, I'm not going to wear this shirt with 3 unicorns on it, so I may apply them just for ease. I may apply them the wrong way on the shirt. We'll see. But just a fair warning. Okay, so one of your protective papers is going to go inside the shirt. So just in case any of the ink bleeds through the shirt itself, you don't want that ink to be on the back of your shirt. And then the other protective paper is going to protect our actual heat press, because you don't want to get any sublimation ink on the press itself. Alright, so we add our shirt in with our protective paper on the inside, and then I like to add the protective paper again just to protect the shirt, to protect the surface itself from the heat. And you can reuse this paper if it doesn't get any ink on it, so just take a look at that. And I have this set to 400 degrees for 40 seconds, And the pressure on these said like medium. You want to be sure to follow all the directions for the substrate you're using if possible. If not, look at those directions we talked about that's actually with the paper. And I'm actually going to preheat this all the way down while we're waiting on, like, this heat press is almost heated up. All right, you can also do sublimation with a easy press. You just need your easy press, and I have a sublimation mat that I like that I use with that for sublimation. I don't particularly like the easy press mat for sublimation, but you can do it with that. I have also done sublimation with an iron. I'm going to link to a video below explaining how I do that. Okay, now, so I'm going to get the paper inside the shirt kind of up to the top. And I am going to just flip this shirt over. It'll be a little bit easier to fit all three of these unicorns on here. And we are just looking for a color comparison. We just want to make sure the paper is protecting everything so it's in the right location, that you get as many wrinkles out as possible so the wrinkles can affect your press. Okay, and then our three papers, right? We have three papers that we are going to compare. And I'm going to do the A-sub first because I've used it before. So I'm going to add that to the shirt, just making sure that it's in the location where the paper is underneath it. And then heat tape. So we are going to tape that. I like to tape 4, like 1 on each side. And heat tape, you can also reuse it. As long as it's still sticky after this press, we're going to use it for the other 3. And we're going to take a look, and we're at 400. So we are ready to press. Okay, and this heat press does count down for me, so I'm just going to leave it down until it beeps. And we'll put our protective paper over and press for 40 seconds. 40 seconds is up. We'll lift that up. And you just want to make sure you don't burn yourself here. Everything is extremely, extremely hot. You can allow it to cool a little while. That doesn't hurt anything. Or you can just peel it up. And let me try to peel this so you can see the vibrant unicorn that is now on this shirt. So this is what the A-sub paper looks like now. And this is a comparison. So it basically looked like this one before we pressed. You can see that. And then we'll compare this one with the actual pressing, and it's gorgeous. So let me pull that out of there, show you the unicorn. And so there's the unicorn next to the sublimation paper, so you can tell it gets really, really bright. So I'm going to repeat the same process going down the shirt for all 3 of these sublimation papers, and then we'll come back and take a look at any differences I see once pressed between the sublimation papers, so you know which one's best for you. And then at the very end, we'll kind of talk pricing, so you can decide which sublimation paper you want to use in your printer. Okay, so here's our results. All 3 pressed using the same settings. This is the A-sub, this is the printer's jack, and this is the DyeMaster. If you were to hand me this shirt, I couldn't tell you which one was which just by looking at it. Like, the quality is about the same on all 3. So let's talk about pricing and some of the pros and cons of each one to kind of get an idea of which one you should go with for your sublimation printer. Okay, so I printed all 3 of my designs, 3 different sublimation papers, all with my Epson EcoTank printer and Hippo Sublimation ink. So that's what the ink I use in my sublimation printer. I'll link a video below to a video on how to convert that printer. So we looked at the results, basically the same. So let's talk about like other pros and cons that might make you factor into your sublimation paper decision. So the most expensive is the A-Sub. So, and the printer's jack and the DyeMaster are about the same. What I didn't like about the DyeMaster was that it didn't have anything on the back to tell me the difference between the front and back. So it definitely wasn't my favorite. Now, there is a little sticker on the front of here. It says print on this side, but like once I open it and flip it open, like which side is that? I don't know. Not really my favorite. I kind of like these that have the something on the back. So if I ever remove them from this package, I still won't know which one is the front and the back. But as far as use wise, I didn't see any difference between the two. So I would probably go with the cheaper version, which is the printer's jack. But I will link to all three below. You saw all three worked amazingly. Click on all three links. They might be on sale. So that's pricing as of like today, just when I look them up on Amazon. But they might be on sale one day, right? So click on all three, make a decision for yourself. I don't think you can go wrong with all three. Just know the pros and cons of each one. So hopefully this video helped you. If you have any questions about anything we covered today, feel free to ask us in the comment section below. If you like this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos like this all the time. I'm doing more and more with differences in sublimation, and you may just be interested in what I have coming up next. You'll want to be sure to hit subscribe, follow along so you don't miss any of the videos. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope you'll break out your Epson Eco Tank, change it to a sublimation printer, and start making all those sublimation designs for all your craft projects. Thank y'all, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.